What's up, Hokie fans? This is Coach Mike Holmes, contributor of the Sons of Saturday, and I'm coming to you with this week's installment of the 10-Minute Tailgate. Each week on the 10-Minute Tailgate, we provide a curated tailgate recipe and a cocktail so you can thoroughly enjoy your tailgating experience or your home gating experience, depending on where you're watching the Hokies play. This week, after a victorious homecoming weekend in Blacksburg, Virginia, the Hokies are traveling to the frozen, frigid north, all the way up in Syracuse, New York. For this week, we are providing two recipes, one that has a direct tie to Syracuse. A second recipe is something that I just thoroughly enjoy. So the first recipe that we're going to do this week is a Big Mac tater tot muffin cup. It's a big way to describe it, but essentially it's a handheld 2-bite Big Mac. The second is a mixed drink cocktail called the Syracuse. Now, it's a very simple cocktail. It's got vermouth, triple sec, orange juice. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for right now, let's go into what we have going on here. So first thing I'm going to do is, because this is a hamburger dish, we're going to go ahead and get our ground beef going. And I have about a 3/4 to a pound of ground beef here. And my pan's already warm, so that should be cooking fairly quickly. I'm going to get that all chopped up. And what you want to do here is you just want to get this browned. You want to get it crumbled, and you want to get that browned. So I have it on about medium to medium-high heat. And I'm going to keep checking on that so we can get that broken up. Now, to season this meat, on the recipe on sonsofsaturday.com, you're going to find garlic, salt, and pepper. But Kinder's makes its own blend. I really enjoy it. So that's what I'm going to season this beef with. Get it a nice liberal coating here. Salt, pepper, garlic. Great combination of flavors. Man, it already smells good in here. And we're just going to keep that rolling until this ground beef gets done. Okay, and we'll come back and check on it later. Okay, over here in our muffin tin, which I've already sprayed and greased down. You can use whatever cookie pan you have. If you want to use regular butter to grease it up, you can. But this cooking spray works really good. And I've set 5 tater tots in each one of these muffin tins. And I'm taking, right now, this is an 1/8 of a cup that I have right here in this little measuring cup, because I want it to be smaller than the cup itself. I'm going to place it in the center. And I'm going to mash it all the way down and kind of create a little cup there. Do it the same thing for the rest of them. And I've kind of already got most of them going, but I really wanted to show you, just to show you how this is all going to work. Okay. And I've let these tater tots thaw for about 3 to 4 hours. So they've already thawed. They're easily to work with. So that means they don't take as long to cook. Okay. So my oven is preheated at 425 degrees. I'm going to pop these in the middle rack. And so they're going to stay in the middle rack here for about 15 minutes, okay? So I'm going to go back and check on them here in a minute. I'm going to come back here and look at my beef for a second. Just keep breaking that up, stir it up. You want it to get as fine and crumbly as you can make it, because when we put it into the muffin cups a little bit later, you want it to be easier to work with, okay? I use 90-10 ground beef for this. If you use 80-20 beef or 70-30 beef for this, you're going to have a little bit of extra grease left over, so you want to go ahead and drain it if that's the case. Okay? So while that's sizzling and while that's cooking, I'm going to lower the heat just a bit. Now I'm going to make my dipping sauce. So I have my bowl set up. This is going to be the sauce that's going to be drizzled over top of everything when we assemble this later. Okay? I'm going to start off with about a 1/2 cup of Duke's mayonnaise. Drop that in there. I have about a 1/4 cup of ketchup. This is some Whataburger ketchup. It's going to be really good. And I'm going to use about an 1/8 cup of relish, of sweet relish. Okay, so about what I have here, I'm going to take about half of that. And then I'm just going to mix it together with my spoon here. Mix all those things together. So if you've ever really wondered what the McDonald's special sauce is, outside of a couple of extra secret ingredients, it's mostly just Thousand Island dressing. So we're just going to take this and we're going to mix it all up so you get that nice Thousand Island dressing appearance and that cover there. It's going to have your sweet relish and your mayonnaise and your ketchup, and that's all mixed up. So That's looking fantastic right there. We'll go ahead and set that aside, and we'll come back in just a minute and we'll put all these together. Okay? So while this is going, I'm looking at my ground beef. Ground beef is coming along good. I'm going to break it up a little bit more. Kind of get this going around here. Man, it already smells really, really good in here. I'm not even going to lie. Okay? All right. So while we're waiting on this beef to finish cooking, I'm going to slide over here and we're going to make our cocktail. The Syracuse one. So we're going to come over here now and we're going to make our cocktail. This cocktail is called the Syracuse. This is a mixed cocktail. We're not even really going to use our jigger for this because it is very simple, and the amount of ingredients doesn't necessarily matter because it's all equal parts for the most part. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some ice and we're going to fill our mixing tin with some ice. Okay, looks good there. Okay, we're going to start with triple sec. Triple sec is an orange liqueur. If you have Cointreau, if you have Grand Marnier, that works even better. But for this, we're just going to use some simple triple sec, and we're going to go about 3/4 of an ounce. So about 3/4 of an ounce right there. Boom. And then we have some dry vermouth. This dry vermouth is going to be added to it. About 3/4 of an ounce. Boom. There we go. We're going to use a dash of lemon juice. We're just going to squirt that in there. Okay. We're going to use about a 1/2 ounce of orange juice, hence the orange, okay, the Syracuse. Okay. Here we go. And then for color, we're going to add a little dash of grenadine. Okay. This is just a cherry flavor. It's really going to soup it up and make it nice. So now that we've done that, we're going to get our mixing tin, put the lid on, and we're going to shake it up good. Okay? We're going to let it sit for just a second. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to rim our glass. Okay? So to do this, I've sliced an orange, and we're going to use this orange for a garnish later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that orange, and I'm going to run it around the edge of my glass. Okay, the reason why I do this, I want something for the rim, which is sugar based, which is just sugar here. I want something for that sugar to stick to. So now I see I have a nice sugared rim on my glass. Now I'm going to pour my cocktail into my glass. That nice orange color it's got there. It's been watered down a little bit by the ice from my mixing tin. I'm going to garnish it with my orange wedge. And there you go. I have the Syracuse. Cheers. It's orangey. It's light. There's a lot of fruit juice in it. You could probably mix some club soda in here with this if you wanted to make it a little bubblier. But it is a very tasty cocktail. Okay, so let's give this one quick stir. This looks about browned. You can see this. This is kind of about where we want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the heat off here, and I'm just going to remove it from the heat, and I'm going to let it sit for a minute until we're ready to build our muffins. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pause the video. I'm going to come back here in just a little bit, and we're going to assemble all these and then show you how to enjoy these Big Mac muffins. See you in a minute. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been 15 minutes. Our tater tots cups are still in the oven, so now let's pull them out and let's check on them. Let's see how we look. All right. Man, those look great. They look perfect. So you get a little crisp of edge on the outside of those cups. Okay. So now, before we even take these out of here, we're going to go ahead and assemble these guys in the pan. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our cheese. These are just regular, normal cheddar cheese slices. I've cut them lengthways twice, so we get a nice little square. And I'm just going to pop those down into the bottom of each one of these cups. And the heat from these tater tots will melt those nice and easy. Ooh. Just be careful, don't burn yourself. Okay, we'll get those down in there and let those sit for just a minute. Those pop down in there. And these muffin tins, these muffin cups, will do a great job of keeping the shape of everything while you build it and make it that much easier for y'all to work with. Okay, so now we have created our cup. And you can see the ones that I put in first, they've already kind of melted and began to take the shape of this little cup that we're going to use. So step 2 is we're going to add our meat. And so this is that ground beef that we've browned. So I have a full-size tablespoon here and just kind of nice little level amount. You just want to drop that a little bit right into the middle of that little cheese hole that you've kind of created for yourself there. It spills over, that's fine. Just going to add that little bit right there into the middle. Man, these smell absolutely amazing. Okay. The other thing is that with this cheese here, it's going to kind of melt around the beef and kind of keep it intact. So that's another great feature of this snack. We're just going to go through the rest of them here and finish adding the beef. My son Hudson is my cameraman again today. And Hudson, do they smell pretty good? Oh yeah, they smell great. Okay, one more. Excellent. Okay, so now we have our beef in there. Step 2 is the pickle. Okay, and so I want to add a pickle slice here on top of each one. And again, if you don't like pickles, you don't have to use them. Personally, I like the pickles, so we're going to keep those in there. Standing, nice dill pickle slice. Man, this looks really, really good already. Outstanding. Okay, step 3, or where are we on? Step 4 now. I'm going to take a tiny little pinch of shredded lettuce. Okay, this is just ready to wash, store-bought shredded lettuce. I'm just going to add a little bit to the top there. You don't want to overdo it, just enough to kind of cover the cup. Nice and easy. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. So as we get going, as we keep going here, we're going to build these all up. They look phenomenal right now. They smell great. This is going to be a little bit more labor intensive. This will be very difficult to do on site at your tailgate, probably a little bit more labor intensive. So this would be something that I would definitely recommend if you're home gating, watching the Syracuse game, or if you can make them in advance and you can wrap them in foil, you can heat them on the grill, whatever you need to do. Okay, the last step here is that sauce that we made earlier, we're going to take a little tiny spoonful and we're just going to kind of drizzle it on top. And this is kind of your special sauce. They're adding on to the top. And these look great. Just enough to kind of sit on top and kind of bind everything together. A few more. Man, these look really, really good. And again, if you don't like ground beef or don't eat ground beef, you could always replace it with some ground chicken or some ground turkey or anything else. Or you could just do them completely vegetarian and just load all this stuff up into the potatoes. Okay? All right. So now here comes the fun part. This is the taste test. All right. So I'm going to get a fork and I'm going to scoop one out, and I'm going to be careful not to burn myself because this tray is hot. And you can see everything in this cup has really kind of molded together and it's kept its shape. It's got a nice crispy edge. It's a little bit messy, but that's okay. So let's take a bite. That's phenomenal. Tastes just like a Big Mac and fries all together. Great all-American meal. This is great. I'm going to wash this down with my Syracuse beverage. Hope the Hokies can make their way to a victory up in that horrible JMA Wireless, formerly known as the Carrier Dome. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the Sons of Saturday channel, follow the Sons on all of the social media, Facebook, YouTube, X, LinkedIn if you need to. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Go Hokies.